I think we should get rid of the guns, Mr. Heston.
Actually, Billy, it's not as simple as that.
I think it is. I think we should get rid of the guns, Mr. Heston.
Why, you ask? See, Billy, we believe that if you'd been armed, you could have defended yourself.
No, I think we should get rid of the guns, Mr. Heston.
How do I explain it to a child? You see, Billy, guns are our national right, a sign of America. American independence, American resourcefulness, American security. For instance, if you're on an isolated farm in northern Michigan, where I grew up, and a wolf came into your home in the middle of the night and tried to eat your family, don't you think you should have a gun to protect yourself?
But I don't live on a farm, Mr. Heston.
All right, Billy, but let's say you lived in the ghetto and, you know, I marched for civil rights. And some street scum came into your home in the middle of the night and tried to kill your family. Don't you think you should have a gun to protect yourself?
But I live in Sherman Oaks, Mr. Heston. I was in school.
Because you see, Billy, when criminals have access to drugs and alcohol...
Yeah, but the guy who shot me didn't use drugs or alcohol, Mr. Heston. He used a gun. He was 11. He had access to guns. I think we should get rid of the guns, Mr. Heston.
To a certain extent, Billy, I agree. Really. We believe the AK-47 should be disallowed.
I think we should get rid of all the guns, Mr. Heston.
What, Billy? All the guns?
All the guns.
Oh, but they're fun.
They weren't for me.
Men like guns, Billy.
Well, couldn't you just play with yourself instead?
If we don't have guns, Billy, only the criminals will have guns.
If there aren't any guns there, Mr. Heston, where will he get it?
Oh, your criminal has ways, Billy.
You mean by stealing them from a house or a store? But if there isn't a gun there, then how could he steal it?
Because you see, Billy, statistics show conclusively that the more people buy guns, death rates actually go down.
Well, then all the middle schoolers should buy guns? I don't think that's a good idea, Mr. Heston. I don't think that's a good mix. You know what I mean?
No, it's not, Billy. But shouldn't anybody have guns?
Well, sure, Mr. Heston. I think policemen should have guns if they need them. But you know what, Mr. Heston? It's not the Wild West anymore.
No, it's not, Billy. I realize that.
And people don't like to go on those safari things much anymore either.
No, I guess not.
And people don't even like to shoot each other in wars as much as the movies would have you think.
No, they don't. You may be right. But the truth is, Billy, the public has come to expect me in a certain way.
Well, you know, I've been thinking about that, Mr. Heston. Remember how Moses led the people, Mr. Heston?
Oh, Moses.
Yeah, well, why don't you do it again?
What's that, Billy? Change my position? Oh, no one listened to me after all this time.
Well, sure they would, Mr. Heston. Did you ever hear about Paul?
Newman with the popcorn and the salad dressing?
No. In the Bible, like Moses?
I don't remember any Paul.
New Testament?
Oh, well.
Well, you see, Paul was this Jewish man who hated Christians until he turned it around and became a Christian.
And then hated all the Jews, huh? Clever guy.
Well, not really, Mr. Heston, but you know what?
What's that, Billy?
No one's ever done a movie about Paul.
No? Really? What kind of a guy was he?
Oh, it's a great part, Mr. Heston. Big guy like you. What I'm saying is, Mr. Heston, you don't need this gun thing.
How old? Oh, wait. My age?
Paul, your age? Sure, any age.
Good looking?
Sure, Mr. Heston, and you know what? He goes blind.
Goes blind? Hot damn. Oscar time. You tell me some more about him, Billy.
Oh, well, one day Paul was riding his horse to Damascus.
Hey, I ride a horse.
Well, there you go, Mr. Heston. That's what I mean, you see. It'd be a great start. We'd be getting rid of the guns, but more important, we'd be giving your career some juice.
Yeah, I like juice.
Mr. Heston, I got to ask you about the Ben-Hur thing.
You know, all that sissy stuff with Stephen Boyd, I never knew anything about that.
You look pretty slicked up there, Mr. Heston.
Oh, well, Ben-Hur just like to throw spears and get sweaty. All young men like that stuff, Billy.
Good evening, Mr. Burns.
Indeed, Mr. Thomas.
You be walking laddie.
You be walking waggle.
Yeah, they be good dogs.
Good dogs.
Yeah, good dogs.
Good dogs.
Your boy's in a peck of trouble, Mr. Burns.
That he is, Mr. Thomas, that he is. I dinna ken the outcome.
Near I, Mr. Burns, near I, but I can help do the time, your boy. I can that.
You ken?
I can that, can ye?
I dinna ken, but dark it looks. I give you that, I give you that.
Dark it looks, Mr. Burns. And your little Johnny, I'll be no help to him when he's going, I'm thinking.
Little Johnny Cochran,
Yeah.
be of no help, say ye. Perhaps you say true, but I'm thinking wee Johnny has yet a card up his sleeve, I'm thinking.
A card, Mr. Burns, a card, say ye? Would that be the race card, the race card, Mr. Burns? Oh, Mark Furman is it? Is he up his sleeve, then?
'Twas no race card played by Johnny, Mr. Thomas.
'Twas no race card, say it. 'Twas no. I say it was, Mr. Burns.
'Twas no, and if so, 'tis a legitimate issue in America.
Race.
Aye, race. A legitimate issue, and another is perjury.
Oh, perjury. Perjury. 'Twas no perjury.
'Twas true, he lied, you Mr. Furman.
He didn't lie.
He did, he said the N-word.
Did not say the N-word.
He did, he said the
No,
N-word.
no. It's not in the way you're thinking, Mr. Burns. It was in a different context than you're thinking.
And what be that context, Mr.
In the
Thomas?
context of a movie film.
A movie film, was it? A movie film? And what sort of a movie film was it? A Disney film, was it? Beethoven, was
It was no Beethoven.
You say true. 'Twas no Beethoven. 'Twas some filth. Filth of that McKinney lass, that whore from North Carolina, itself a South American bastion of fiendish slavery.
Slavery, say. I was long ago slavery.
Long ago, with the judge himself, a grand clansman sitting behind the bench, I doubted that Jesus Christ, Lord himself, could stand up against such a judge, let alone poor wee Johnny Cochran himself, a black man.
God.
And furthermore, Mr. Thomas, who be the alleged character in the movie film?
I dinna ken, Mr. Burns.
A policeman, maybe, a policeman, huh? And how would Mr. Furman ken the use of the N-word by a policeman, huh? How would he ken that, unless the character in the movie film be a policeman like himself and using the N-word?
Shag it.
And knew a good day for your woman, neither.
Who do you mean by that, Mr. Burns?
Yeah, no, well, I mean wee Marcia.
Clark. Marcia Clark.
Marcia Clark, the slut. Should be back home with her bastard babies.
She's a good woman, Mrs. Clark.
She's new.
She is.
That man-hating, spoony-headed, fat-legged... That man-hating, spoony-headed, fat-legged, bulldog divorcee with a penis is your Mrs. Clark.
I knew you'd say that. Say it so. No. Not like your Mr. Johnny Cochran.
Say nothing against Mr. Cochran.
That fat, condescending, shark-suited, nappy-headed, wife-beaten, Burt Reynolds sound alike.
And your Negro is better?
Mr. Darden, you say no thing against
Why,
Mr.
that disrespectful, back-tucking, whiny Uncle Tom with sloppy diction?
Well, I'd rather him than your Mr. F. Lee Bailey, that senile, booze-headed, Pattyhurst rejected Raymond Burr might have been. Or your Mr. Shapiro, that slimy, thinny-haired, arrogant, chauvinist Jew. And the pack of them defending Mr. Orenthal James Simpson himself, the narcissistic, drugged-out, over-the-hill, hyped-up, rheumatoid, powder-waving, Neanderthal, full-black, half-back murderer.
And wasn't he driven to it by Nicole? That anorexic, high cheekbone, bleach, blonde, couch-sucking, sleep-around slut with straight hair?
Oh, where I go? Don't eat
Come
that.
here, laddie.
Don't eat that.
Come here, laddie. Come on, laddie. Come on, laddie. Come on, laddie.
Where I go?
They do get along, don't they?
That's good dogs they are. You're a lesson for us all, you know.
Hey. Well, I better be getting over to home, Mr. Tamish. Yeah. We're watching the news. We're worried about Afghanistan.
So we should be, Mr. Burns.
Well, then I'll say goodnight to you, Mr. Tamish. My best to the missus.
She died this morning, Mr. Burns.
You didn't say.
Come on,
Come on, laddie, come on. There we go. There we go, laddie. Come on, come on, there we go.
Come on.
God be with ye, friar.
And ye, friar.
Can ye, good friar, direct me to the Abbey Tintern? Long has this weary wanderer wandered these 3 long days and nights in this heathen wood, encountering many strange deeds of do and daring do. And now wish I to quit my wasteful wandering and achieve my long-sought quest. Indeed. Aye, verily. And therefore quest I of thee, whither? And good my friar, what turn takes thee to the Abbey Tintern? Exactly.
Good evening, Mr. Burns.
And to ye, Mr. Tammish.
You be walking, laddie?
Aye, you be walking waggle.
Yeah, they be good dogs.
Good
Yeah,
dogs.
good dogs, yeah. Hey, your girl's in a peck of trouble, Mr. Burns.
Aye, that she is, Mr. Tammish, that she is. I dinna ken the outcome.
You're right, Mr. Burns, you're right, but I can't shall do the time, your girl. I can that.
Do you ken?
I can that, can you?
I dinna ken, but dark it looks. I give you that.
Aye, dark it looks. And your little Kenny, I'll be no help to her where she's going, I'm thinking.
Little Kenny Starr. Be of no help, see. Perhaps you say true, but I'm thinking wee Kenny has yet a card up his sleeve, I'm thinking.
A card, Mr. Burns, a card, say you? Would that be the sex card, huh? The sex card, Mr. Burns? Oh, Paula Jones is it? Is she up his sleeve, then?
'Twas no sex card played by Kenny, Mr. Tammish.
'Twas no sex card, say you? 'Twas no, I say it was, Mr. Burns.
'Twas no, and if so, 'tis a legitimate issue in America.
Sex?
Aye, sex, a legitimate issue, and another is perjury.
Perjury? Oh, perjury. 'Twas no perjury.
Aye, 'twas too. He lied, you, Mr. Clinton.
He didn't lie.
He did. He said he'd no intercourse.
Didn't say intercourse.
He did. He said he'd no intercourse.
No, it's not the way you're thinking, Mr. Burns. It was in a different context than you're thinking.
There would be that context, Mr. Tammish.
In the context of a relationship.
A relationship, was it? A relationship? And what sort of a relationship was it, Make niece, come play with Uncle Winky?
It was no Uncle Winky.
Aye, you say true. 'Twas no Uncle Winky. 'Twas some filth of that F.O.B. Alger Gore, that bastard yuppie from the state of Tennessee, itself a South American bastion of fiendish sexual deviance.
Oh, deviance, say you?
Aye, deviance. Aye, with your draft-dodging president hiding behind Vice President Rushmore, I doubted that Jesus Christ Lord himself could stand alone, let alone poor wee Kenny Starr, himself a Christian.
Aye.
And knew a good day for your woman, neither.
What do you mean by that, Mr. Burns?
You know, well, I mean wee Janet.
Reno, Attorney General of the United States of America, Janet Reno.
Janet Reno, the slut. Should be back home swigging beer and watching Ellen reruns, that one.
She's a good woman, General Reno.
She's new.
She is.
And that hammer-headed, fat-legged, bull-dyke divorcee with a penis is your Mrs. Reno.
Oh, say you so. No, not like your Mr. Newton Gingrich.
Say no thing against Senator Gingrich.
Ah, that twinkie-filled, condescending, shark-suited, blow-dried, white-beaten, book-shilling Roger Ebert sound alike.
And your Negro is better?
Mr. Jordan, you say no thing again, Mr.
Why,
Jordan.
that slick-tongued, thick-lipped, side-talking, shifty-eyed Malcolm X wannabe!
Well, I'd rather him than your Mr. Limbaugh, that two-ton, four-eyed, right-wing Nazi minivan. Or your Reverend Jesse Helms, that dried-up, grit-slurping, senile chauvinist hermaphrodite.
And wasn't he driven to it by Hillary? That bleach-blonde, child-rearing, futures-buying, child-bred bisexual whore with bulimia?
Lego.
Laddie.
Get up.
My laddie.
Get up.
Come here, laddie. Come here. Come on, laddie. Come on. Come on, laddie. They do get along, don't they?
Good dogs they are. You know, a lesson to us all.
Hey. Well, I better be getting over to home, Mr. Tammish. We're watching the news. We're worried about Kosovo.
So we should be, Mr. Burns. So we should be.
Well, then, good night to you, Mr. Tammish. My best to the missus.
I told you, she's...
Come on, laddie. Come on, laddie. Come on.
Give me a waggle. Waggle. Come here, waggle.
Hello, Northridge Obstetrics. Room 666, I'll connect you. Hello, doctor. Doctor, I'm back, yes. No, doctor, I agree with you 100%, doctor. No, absolutely, doctor. I think if you do the work, doctor, you should be paid. Absolutely. Doctor, it's only fair. If she's going to have a baby, she's got to think about these things.
Yes, doctor. Well, I would be happy to go. I will go right in there and tell her. Absolutely, doctor. And you'll wait? Very good, doctor. Mrs. Cranmer, Mrs. Cranmer, Mrs. Cranmer, Mrs. Cranmer. I have just spoken to the doctor, and I'm afraid we cannot give you an epidural until you make an anesthesiology payment. Hello, doctor. Doctor, there seems to be a problem, doctor. No, doctor, I did tell her, doctor, but she's quite dilated. And Would you like to tell her yourself, doctor? No, doctor, but I just did. If you could come over, I would just... Very well, doctor, I'll try again. And you'll wait. Very good, doctor. Mrs. Cranmer? Mrs. Cranmer, Mrs. Cranmer! Mrs. Cranmer, I have just spoken to the doctor, and I'm afraid we must insist we cannot give you an epidural until you make an anesthesiology payment. Hello, doctor. Doctor, you're going to have to come over here, doctor. You're needed immediately. No, doctor, what is that, Mrs. Cranmer? Doctor, Mrs. Cranmer said if you don't come in the next 3 minutes, she'll find you. And she'll what, Mrs. Cranmer? She'll poke out your eyes. With a what, Mrs. Cranmer? I'm sorry, I'm not getting it. With a vegetable peeler. I think she will, doctor. No, doctor, I think she'll find you. Because I told her where you live. I'll drive her there. Chopin's Ocean Etude, number 27. It's played by Larry Wong. Mr. Bill Clinton. How to look good on the job. How to look good making choices. How to look good at my desk. How to look good at the window. How to develop executive style. How to look cute in a Nike jumpsuit with that "aw shucks, I'm just like you" smile. This look is all that I need. How to succeed. I've got the cool, clear eye of a seeker of wisdom and truth. Yet there's that upturned chin and the grin of a razorback youth. Oh, I believe in me. I believe in me. And when the faith of my biggest fan all but falls apart, I've but to feel her hand grasping mine, and I take heart. I take heart.
Can't stop. Gotta stop that man any way we can.
I've got the cool, clear eye of a seeker of wisdom and truth.
Or he'll stop me.
Yet there's that slam, bam, thank you, ma'am, reminiscent of razorback youth.
Gotta stop that man.
I believe in me. I believe in me.
Stop that man. Gotta stop him. Stop that man. Gotta stop him. Stop that man. Gotta stop that man. Whatever Paula wants, Paula gets. And Mr. President, little Paula wants you. Make up your mind to have no regrets. Recline yourself, resign yourself, you're through. I always know what I aim for. Nose job at my own talk show is what I came for.
Hillary, Hillary. Linda Tripp. The fury of the talk shows is delicious. It's a thrill to have the White House at my feet. The praise of the right wing is so exciting, but I've learned that's not what makes a life complete. There's one thing you can do for the rest of your term that's worth more than revenge. The book deals a good perm. Make Kenneth happy. Make just one hopeless nerd happy. Make just Ken Star the star you sing to. It's Ken's grand jury that cheers you. His horn rims fog when he nears you. One man, you're everything to. Fame, if you win it, comes and goes in a minute. What's the real filth in life to cling to? Love is the answer. Someone to love is the answer. Once you've found him, build your case around him. Make Kenneth happy. Make just one hopeless nerd happy. And you will be happy too. How do you solve a problem like Lewinsky? How do you trap a slut and pin her down? How do you figure a honeypot like Lewinsky? A slick little princess is bringing a president down. Many a thing you know you'd like to tell her. Many a thing she ought to understand. But how do you make her sway and swear that I didn't stray? How do you get her to lie when on the stand? How do you solve a problem like Lewinsky? Loose lips sink ships even on dry land. Kathleen Willey. This is a man who thinks with his is not always wise. This is a man who fumbles with buttons, but this is a man who tries. This is a man you'll accuse and forgive and reject and approach as long as you live. He will not always say what you would have him say. I might have kissed her on the forehead, but now and then he'll say something wonderful. I've wanted to do this for the longest time. You'll always go along, defend him when he's wrong, and tell him when he's wrong. He is wonderful. You'll always need his love. He'll always get your love. A president of the United States who needs your love can be wonderful.
The sun comes up, I think about you. A tart pops up, ooh, I think about you. I want you so, it's like I'm losing my mind. I fill my plate and think about you. I put on weight, think about you. Boy, does it show, it's like I'm losing my mind. Is Jordan right? Am I rotten to the core? My God, this skirt feels tight. As I knelt there on the Oval Office floor, it felt so wrong, it felt so right. I order fries and think about you. I wrap my thighs and think about you. You said you loved me. Or were you just being kind? Or am I losing my mind? Ken Starr. The sun on the meadow is summery warm. The stag in the forest runs free. The heart as a shelter defies the storm. Tomorrow belongs to me.
I have to say I did it, I did it, I did it. I didn't mean to do it, but indeed I did. I knew that I would rue it, and surely I blew it. But I have to say I did it, 'cause indeed I did.
No, wait, the credit goes to me. A lot of the credit goes to me. I told you that he did it, he did it, he did it. He said he didn't do it.
But indeed I did. I did it. There is a brotherhood of men, a benevolent brotherhood of men feral tie that binds
all feral hearts and minds
into one brotherhood of men.
Your lifelong membership
Is
free.
keep giving each brother all you can.
Oh, aren't you proud to be
In that fraternity, the great big brotherhood of men. Brotherhood of men. When you fish with Kennestar, makes no difference who you are. Bottom feeder, jellyfish, there's slime on you. Catherine, Willie, Linda, Trip, just how low will Kenneth dip? Who would like to see their sex life on TV?
Ladies and gentlemen, Larry Wong.
Kenneth seems obsessed with sex, whose genitals will be scrutinized next. Surely not Ken's noose or Trent's. They'll have to find them first. The good senators. Ladies and gentlemen, it is obvious to me that the American people now need for their president to apologize for taking part in these uncontrolled and addictive sexual dalliances.
It's evident to me that the American people are satisfied the president has expressed sorrow for his deplorable, animalistic actions, and in their American wisdom now wish to move on and close this chapter.
Ladies and gentlemen of the press, it is obvious that the American people now mandate the Senate Judiciary Committee to release the most intimate details regarding this salacious and vulgar chapter. And furthermore, it is my and my colleagues' opinion that all good and honest people of these United States now want their president to step forward and show his pee-pee.
In accordance with our constitutional bylaws, it is obviously the wish of the American people that the president show his pee-pee, only if the illustrious Senator Hyde shows his pee-pee.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've just spoken to his office and been informed that Senator Hyde will show his pee-pee if the Democratic members of the Judiciary Committee show their pee-pees.
Well, the Democrats of the committee will gladly show their pee-pees if the Republican members of the Senate show their pee-pees.
The Senate Republicans will gladly show their pee-pees if the House Democrats show their pee-pees.
We have just learned that the men in the House will gladly show their pee-pees if Senators Boxer and Feinstein show their nays.
It has just been reported that Senators Boxer and Feinstein will show their nays if Orrin Hatch shows his slides of Barney Frank's Senate page Christmas party.